Hi, I am Karen Cressman, and I am a multiversal shaman. I know that's a rare, unique thing, but I remembered my shamanic abilities in 2001 when I studied the foundation of shamanic studies, and it's unraveled from there. It's just been a roller coaster, and I remember asking God, what tribe should I follow? Should it be Cherokee, Navajo? And he's like, no. I have plenty of traditional tribal shamans. I need 21st century shamans. And I said, okay, what does that look like? I don't know yet. Here's what you do next. So it has unraveled to the point where in 2011, I started a radio show on Blog Talk. Unfortunately, most of those shows have been taken down now. In 2014, I started to work with the Andromeda Council, and I traveled to other worlds and dimensions and galaxies and universes, bringing forth knowledge from our loved ones throughout the universes. So you can find me at KarenCressman.com. You can find me on YouTube, Karen Cressman. You can find me on Facebook, Karen Cressman Spiritual Interpreter. I am Karen Cressman Spiritual Interpreter on Twitter. So there are multiple ways that you can find me and my work. But right now, my YouTube channel, I am bringing forth monthly recordings from the Andromeda Council and what's happening. And there's been some amazing pieces of information of what's going on by our neighbors that are benevolent, working with us and helping us grow. So it's really, really beautiful knowledge that everyone will gain wisdom from. And most importantly, October of 2021, I did a show and it's called The Imprint of Love, and how the imprint of love changed the heart of someone who was working for the dark. So there's some beautiful knowledge there for everyone. All right. So for any of you who don't know the wise ones, let me kind of fill you in there. In 2008, when I first started to do this work, let's go back even further. 2002, when I was first learning my shamanic abilities, I was doing a healing session for someone. And at the end of the session, it was as if there was a hole that opened in the sky, and all of these heads popped down looking at me. And I heard, they're here for you, Karen. They're here for your support. Fast forward to 2008, and I am doing a session in my home, bringing forth wisdom for 080808. And this group of ascended beings started using me to interpret. Now, let me clarify something, that I am not a channeler. I am an interpreter. I literally am with the beings I'm talking to through I cross over to the other side. I started doing radio shows with the wise ones, and in 2011, I went to cross over, and I'm on the other side, and I'm saying hello to God, and God and Jesus and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin and Archangel Michael always greet me on the other side. And the wise ones were all there, this whole group of over 1,500 souls. And all of a sudden they started becoming light and just diving in me. And I was like, minutes before I'm going on air. And I'm like, God, what's happening? He said, you are one. They are you, you are them. What I learned later as a result, the wise ones are my higher self benevolent aspects that I have stored all this wisdom in throughout many lifetimes. Now, when I work with the wise ones, I literally step into a bank of light, and the light and the wisdom is coming from the light. And I say all this because what I want you all to know up front I usually say this at the end. We all have our own wise ones. We all have our benevolent higher self aspects. And I'm going to start us off today with a process that I do every day. I got to get back into the everyday part. But we can all do this every day to get aligned and in our core center and grounded and connected to all of our benevolent higher self aspects so that we can start to hear all that wisdom and energy coming through for us. All right. So with that, I want you all to take a deep breath in. We're going to do 3 deep breaths in and come out on the ah, because the ah is what connects us to God and the universe. All right. So breathe in and out on the ah. Breathe in, out on ah. Third breath in. And ah. That's also how we connect to the oneness of all that is. We connect and root and ground with the crystal grid of Mother Earth. We connect, root with the unconditional love of Father God. We stand in that Buddha column of light and wisdom, connected and corded. We align with the Mother Central Sun. The Mother Central Sun is our origination creation point energy where our light came from. And we anchor with our oversoul and all of our benevolent higher self aspects. And we stand in this radiant starlight Merkaba presence as we are one, we are present, we are all that is. And just see yourself shining and radiating in all dimensions and directions out to this beautiful light, because we are the ascension star. We are the Bethlehem star. We are that radiance. That is how we echo through the multiverses and through this universe and all dimensions. We are that energy. And that is our radiance. And when we can get into that core every day, we are connected in all directions, all parallels, all aspects of who we are. And we bring all of that forth into this dimension so that we can work from that wisdom, with that wisdom, flow through that wisdom, add to that wisdom. That's our bank. That is our spiritual light. That is the core of who we are. So I am going to start off with some toning here. And I'm just pushing the computer away because I tend to get loud and I don't want it to overpower the computer at all. So the toning is important because it lifts our vibration. And the wise ones are always trying to get us to laugh and get lighthearted because it is in that higher vibration that we can hear what they're bringing forth. We have to get ourselves out of left brain into right brain, into a higher consciousness space to receive higher consciousness wisdom. I mean, think about it. Isn't that why we meditate? It's to get ourselves into a zone, a consciousness field that we can hear the wisdom coming down. So that is why it is so important. All right. So we are going to tone today. We always set an intention for our prayers, our meditations, our toning. And let me state it this way. The wise ones have said for years and years and years, create an intentional framework, right? You put a frame around a picture. You create the field for that picture to come through. Your house is a frame in which you live. Okay, a door is a frame in which you walk through. Create an intentional framework for every intention you have. And that is the structure. For instance, I've got 3 books started with the wisdom that's come through. And the framework for every single one of those books is that anyone who hears the title, sees the book, picks up the book, learns to love themselves more unconditionally, themselves and all others, and it lifts their vibration into a greater field of love. Okay, that's the framework. So we can do that for every day. We can set a framework so the day flows in love, peace, ease, joy, vibrancy. We can create that. One of my favorite things is to create I am a victoriously powerful, co-creative manifester. And then I dance that around, because when you move it and when you sing it, you get it into every cell of your being. So you want to dance that or sing it. It's vibrating it in a greater way. Okay. So create an intentional framework. Our framework for toning today is going to be to surround every single atom and molecule and nucleus and all energy in healing cocoons of love on this planet. We're going to fill and surround everything and have that echo and radiate and ripple out into the solar system, into this galaxy, into this universe. We just have it flow and radiate, so that this is a gift of service to not only ourselves, but to the universe. And then all universes are connected. It ripples and radiates to the multiverses. All right. And tomorrow, if you join me at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, for those joining me from the Nashville area, I will teach you how to do a mass meditation love and light technique, where you literally call in hundreds of thousands of light beings to meditate and to create a field of love. And it is a way to be like expand the light web to the nth degree. All right. So with that, let's tone for today. Ecco matai, chi anda to con matatai, cini na ko. Koi tu na mati, adana na makai. Yanamanani cold, cold, Kando, 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 nanahin nani namo, nayam nani namo, kako, hayam nam, hayam nam, hayam nam no, hayam nam, hayam nam, hayam nam no, kahu, kahu, kahu. Chia nanami nanamani no. Chia namani 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 no. 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 Ha namakatia hanudachia namatakia tatakoya mataya. Why namatai shi anatokoya matatakai chatatai mini magata hato. Ha! Me. Namaste. It is good to be back, guys. We are the wise ones. We are happy, 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 happy to be here with you today. We bring forth wisdom about this time on earth. This time on earth that many of you go, what the bleep is going on anyway? What the bleep? We like to use that word with Karen. Otherwise, it would go in another direction, which we don't want to bring in right now. So, what's going on? We have been with you many times for years telling you that you are living in two paradigms right now. You are living in the old amusement park and the new one's being created. So what we tried to let you know back then is you were going to the old amusement park and, and you'd go to get on this ride and it's missing a part. They're waiting for it to be fixed. You go on this ride and it's like, yeah, we're reconstructing that. It kind of fell apart, so we're rebuilding it. You go on this ride, yay, we finally got a ride that works. Yippee, hallelujah. But everything's kind of dilapidated, falling down. It needs to be painted. So you move to the new amusement park, the 5D amusement park, because that one's the 3D. And the 3D just isn't working anymore. So we go over to the 5D park and wow, look at that. It's all bright colors. It's like amazing. It's going this way and that way, and it's dimensional and it's vibrant and it's, oh, it's not working yet. It's got some, they got to 5D print those parts. It's not made yet. And then there's the other ride. Oh, yay, cool. This one works. We can go in this one. This one's good, but that one's not. That one's still being built. And that one's still being thought about and created. So we have this situation right now. You are in a world where the 5D is being built and the 3D is crumbling. And it's gone to the point where the 3D is really crumbling. It's really coming down. So what the bleep is, yay, the 3D world is crumbling down. Now, doesn't feel good, does it? And it's really hard to hear the news. It's really hard to hear war. It's really hard to hear lockdowns. It's really hard to hear mandates and people fighting for their freedom and governments denying it. It's really hard to hear that because you are all half living in that 5D world with the vibrant colors and the flow. Come on, let's just get it working. I want to get on that ride. That looks so cool. But here's the piece that we've recently given to Karen and we want to bring forth to all of you. You are at a place right now where you are getting sucked into that 3D world. It's King Kong holding on to its last banana. You're not going to take that banana away from me. 3D is fighting to keep control. You're all seeing it. You're all hearing it. You're all experiencing it and feeling it, right? How do you stay out of that? How do you keep yourself from that 3D craziness that sucks Karen in? She gets caught and then she makes it right and wrong, and then she's hearing what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine, and then she's like, well, wait, is it Putin? Is it the biolabs? Is it the underground dumbs? Is it the child trafficking? Is it she goes on this whole roll, which gets her sucked back into the web. Because here's what maybe a lot of you don't know. You've probably seen The Matrix. You've probably learned about the web. There's a light web. There's a dark web, which Karen will work with more tomorrow in the mass meditation to teach you how to work to dissolve the dark and expand the light. But there's multiple webs. And it was in 2 shows ago on the Andromeda Council that we brought forth the knowledge with her that there is a reptilian DNA web. So you've got that reptilian brain, the left brain. So there's a whole web around that. There's a web around the darkness on this planet, what some of you call the deep state or the cabal or the men behind the curtains. Karen likes to use the term head of all mafias because people can hear that. Head of all mafias. They've got the webs. You know that there's energetic ways that they get you. It's through the food and the chemicals and the water and the energy fields out there. So you're dealing with all of these webs that the minute you get in a right-wrong conversation, zoom, you are solidly back on that web. You are connected. They gotcha. That's the hook. That's the hook, right? So what the bleep? Not okay. It's not okay. The next step of your evolution. Because if you are in that web, if you are in the make wrong conversation, if you are that evil man or those evil beings, or it's this person's fault and that administration, if you are in those conversations, you are in the storm. You are in the web, the matrix. And you all know how much is being done right now in your media and your television to keep you in fear in the web. Left brain, right? How do you stay in right brain? How do you stay in your spiritual connection? How do you stay in the eye of the storm? Because that's where your power is. That's where your connection is. That is why it's so critical every day. And Karen forgets many days, and she suffers from it, to connect, to ground with the crystal grid of Mother Earth, to connect with the unconditional love of the universe, Father God, whatever you want to call it. There's unconditional loving source. There is your light source. Call it creator, call it the mother central sun, wherever you want to connect that. Your oversoul, you all have an oversoul that's over all of your aspects, that manages it all. And that's the I am presence. Many of you call it the I am presence instead of the oversoul. Make sure you connect to those. That's what's that is your, again, Karen's called it the ascension star. That's that we brought that to her on the Bethlehem star, the ascension star date in December 21st, 2020, I believe it was. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was 2020. So that is your Merkaba. You want to empower your light? Get a Merkaba and just turn it as you're toning, as you're saying your prayer. Put it between your feet. Just get this and turn it and expand your light to get you out of the foothold. Okay? Now, the other piece of this we want to give you, and it's the way we can remind Karen all the time. There's a movie called Australia. If you haven't seen it, it's a very good film. There's a scene in this movie with an Aborigine shaman. And this Aborigine shaman comes out of the desert and follows his grandson and these other two people to a town. It's when the Japanese are bombing. And he is walking through this city with bombs going off all around him, just looking. Just looking. None of them are hitting him. Why? Okay, why? When you're the center of the storm, when you're 5D, you are in a separate reality, right? The 10th Insight talks about this in the Celestine Prophecy books, how you vibrate outside of the reality. When you vibrate there, you are of the world, not in it. Being in the world, you're in the matrix, you're in the field. Okay. He's walking through and nothing's affecting him until he sees something that emotionally triggers him and grounds him back and anchors him into 3D. We say this because it's what we gave Karen to stop feeling like a victim to what's going on around her. Because the minute you focus on the news and he's right, they're wrong, this is right, this is wrong, how dare they, these lies need to come out, the minute you go there, you are 3D. You are getting triggered emotionally by what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and what you're feeling. So to get out of the 3D amusement park, you've got to get rid of the triggers. You've got to release those. And then Karen would go, what the bleep? How do we do that? Right? How do we get rid? We're human. We're human. We're walking on this planet. We are surrounded by all of this. We're keeping a roof over our heads and food on the table. How do we do that? We're not saying it's easy, guys, but we're saying to be in 5D, you've got to get to a place where you can observe. You can observe and go, wow, I really like to know the truth of that. I'd really, and most importantly, when you hear it, you observe it and you go, that's where I need to work. I'm sending a field of love. I'm calling in support. We are surrounding that in a bubble of love. And then we're going to put an impenetrable bubble of violet flame around that, because violet flame will discombobulate heart. And only love can enter and exit. And so we're surrounding all the leaders with impenetrable bubbles of violet flame and love, because love will expand what they do for good, and violet flame will discombobulate. It will cause it. It's violet flame for the dark, for evil intentions. Violet flame is your obstacle course. You're literally throwing an obstacle course in front of them that they have to jump over to get the flow to happen. It just starts to scramble it all. Okay, so you can sit in your chair and affect the Ukraine or Russia or Canada or China or DC. You can affect it. And the only way you're going to get to live in 5D is to stay in that field. And we need more of you being the shaman, being the Aborigine shaman who just walks around and goes, wow, sending a field of love. Wow. That's where my focus needs to be next, over here. I'm going to focus there today, sending love. I'm going to focus here. Deep breathe it in. You all know, well, hopefully you all know about the meditation effect, where you get a group of people together meditating and it expands the field. And if you have a large group of people meditating around a war zone, the fighting stops. If you have a large group of people meditating in a city, crimes go down, because you create the field. So recently, Karen did a shamanic journey for someone. And this person wanted to know how to heal multiple things in her body. And she was taken back and she was shown a lifetime. Karen was shown the lifetime for this person, where she was a shepherd. She was a 14-year-old boy. And Literally, there was a field and sheep. And the young boy gets up and says, okay, Mom, I'm coming. Karen's looking around like, there's no house. Where's he going for lunch? There's no house. And he just leaves the sheep there. She's thinking, wait, won't they be harmed? Boy comes back an hour and a half later, sits down, the sheep are all there. It's all okay. This passerby comes down and the boy says, hello, sir. And the person happens to be Jesus. And Jesus says, are you not worried about your sheep that you left them? And the boy said, oh no, I created a fence. And Jesus looks around and says, where did you create the fence? And he said, in the field. I created it in the field. And Jesus said, what do you do if something comes along, an animal or somebody or a person or somebody who is going to harm? And he said, the little boy said, oh, I can see that in the field. I can see that dense energy coming. And Jesus said, what do you do? And he said, oh, I create them a new path in the field. And Jesus smiled and said, what did you see when I came? A bright light. And Jesus said, well, that's what I saw for you too. So know that that's what you are. And after I saw, and so what, and the little boy said, well, can you help me? I don't know how, that I have a sheep, one of my sheep has a sore foot. How do I heal its foot? And Jesus said, oh, that's easy. If you know how to work in the field, that's easy. What you do is you meditate and focus on that foot and you put a light in the foot and ask to be shown what's wrong. And the little boy went, okay. And he sat down and he did that. And he went, oh, I thought I got that thorn out. But a piece broke it off and it's in the foot. No wonder she's hurting. And he said, Jesus, how do I heal that? And he said, ask the foot. So little boy meditated again. He's like, I'm supposed to put a poultice, but I don't know that plant. So Jesus gave him the name of the plant and he healed the sheep's foot. So years later, as the little boy is now older, now this beautiful field, there's a lot more sheep. He still has all his original sheep. There's beautiful shrubbery and trees, and he created this whole garden from the field. And Jesus comes back and sees him and says, hello, Billy. And Billy says, Jesus, hi, I was hoping to see you again. I saw your light. And Jesus said, I saw yours as well. And what Jesus said, and Billy said, I made you this star, and it was the Bethlehem star, so that you would always have the light. And Jesus gave it back and held it and said, you hold on to that. We will, and know that we will always be connected in the light. Whenever you work in the field, we are connected. And later, Billy asked a passerby or if he had heard of Jesus, and they said, oh, he was just killed. And Billy sat down and meditated, and he felt Jesus's light all around him. And after this, when I was on the other side and the person I was working with the journey was asking questions, Mary came, Mary Magdalene. And she said to her, you need to know something. There's nothing to fix and heal in you. What there is to remember your light. You knew that light as Billy. You knew how to work in the field. You knew how to co-create with light and energy. There is nothing to fix. There's only to remember how to heal yourself, how to connect, not heal, I'm sorry. I said that wrong, guys, sorry. There's only to remember your light and to bring it through. Bring it through. And that's the light when we connect to our Merkaba star, we connect to that. We are then in the field. And we can then pull that light. I literally say every day when I remember to connect, this is Karen talking. Thank you for flowing. Thank you for unconditional love flowing to me, through me, from me, to me, through me, from me, to me, through me, from me, 24/7, 365. To me, through me, from me. Right? And that is, okay, wise ones, you take it. Yes, that is the field in which you can all co-create with the light and with the quantum field of potentials, field of possibilities. There's so many ways it's been expressed, but in that pure potential field, you can create. You can help build the 5D park. You can help break down. When you surround all businesses, all institutes, agencies, organizations, governments, leaders, any group of any kind in impenetrable bubbles of violet flame that will dissolve and disintegrate anything being done in harm, and you wrap it in love that expands anything being done in the service of love and light, you are creating in the field. You are creating. And you are victoriously powerful co-creative manifestors. You are that. It's just a matter of remembering. And how do you heal your body? Send light. Same as Billy did for that sheep's hoof. Send light. Ask your beautiful body, what does it need? What does it need? How can you serve it? Is there an emotion to let go of? Is there a nutrient, a mineral, something that it still needs? You are light. It's a matter of remembering it. And when you can remember it, and when you can stand in that light, and when you can let go of right, wrong, good, bad, evil, spiritual, darkness, good, when you can let go of all of those judgments, you will be that shaman walking through the war and stay the eye, stay the center, stay the light and the love that radiates out. And that's when you are living in 5D. That is the place of existence that 5D resides. Never said it was going to be easy. And you are all capable of this. Every single one of you. And the more that you lift yourself up, the more you lift everything up around you. Because if you're vibrating higher, everything around you starts to shift. That's the gift. That's the gift of where 5D resides and expands. And that's where you are, living in the field of infinite potentials and possibilities. With that, we're going to have Karen tone a little bit and then take questions. We anchor this in. Namaste. Amen. Aho. And so to so. 1, 2, 3. It is done. It is done. It is done. In the Trinity of 3, it is done. No. Namaste. All right. So does anyone have any questions for me? Always intense. Any questions? Okay. Guess they were pretty accurate there. What they were saying.
I wanted to thank you, Karen, because it is something that has been coming up for me as far as using my discernment to how much I am watering the energy, so to speak, of the timeline that I no longer want a part of. But then, like, not being naive or turning a blind eye to something. But I feel like so many of us are in the in between world stage. And discernment for me has been a really big thing, and like committing to my reality. So like wanting to be that shaman walking through the war.
Yes.
And that's something that has been a huge teacher for me when COVID started, when all the chaos of the television was all over, and just being in the eye of the storm for me. It's brought me, it's been able to have more clarity, brought through connection with spirit, my heart space, and, you know, taking my power back and not being so distracted and being more observant to things on attack.
Absolutely. And I have been challenged so much with it. And here's the other thing that God said to me in a journey last Friday that was very intriguing. He said, most people are turning on the news right now and they're going, evil Putin. You turn on the news and you go, is it Putin? Is it the biolabs? Are they child trafficking? Are they trying to get dumbs with the children underground? Are they trying to get them out? Or I bet there's missiles on that land. I bet any amount of money the US has put missiles, like nuclear missiles pointing to Russia. And Russia said, you know, enough. And they're defending themselves. Like, so for those of us in the know, we are looking at situations and our brain is going, so God said that's, you know, the normal person has one thing they're judging. You're judging 15 because of your knowledge. And that's why you're feeling like a victim, because you've got 15 points of judgment. And I kind of went, so he's saying it's better to be asleep, that we shouldn't be awake? And God said, no, it's better that you take that knowledge and you send love to all 15 points. And you continue to pray for the truth to rise and shine, all lies to be exposed. Because the truth is, we don't know. We don't know the bottom line of what's going on. There's probably even more to this picture than what I just mentioned. So the key is to take this knowledge and this wisdom and then say, okay, here's where we can serve. Here's how we can serve. We can honor it and just go, okay, over here needs help, over here needs help. Like we're the light warriors. We're supposed to send the light. That's our role. And not get involved in the storm of the media. That's a wicked matrix. It is a psychological programming. So yeah, so thank you, Vanity. Thank you for that. Anybody else? We have a couple minutes left yet. Anybody get any insights? Melissa, thank you for your message. The chat room message. Yeah. Oh, hi, Anna.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Yes, hi. It was very great. I loved your workshops today. And I like especially about the healing, sending yourself, the healing, how to do that, that really benefited me just hearing that. And I also want to know about the group meditation. I know you're going to probably go over it tomorrow, but that is fascinating about the group, meditating on say world peace and, well, how would you say to go about that?
Okay, so for everyone here who hasn't experienced my mass meditation process, actually, what I did do, please note this on my YouTube channel, December 21st of 2020, I recorded a 10-minute mass meditation light and love technique recording. And they asked me to do that because it was the Ascension Star energy. So that recording, whenever you listen to it, you are connected to that energy. And it'll walk you through the process of how you can do it. Literally, you just simply, when you align yourself in ground, you call in all benevolent beings from throughout the multiverses, all benevolent elementals, all benevolent sentient beings, all benevolent councils and guardians, and all benevolent ascended masters and angels, archangels, guardian angels. And when you do that, you have hundreds of that. You call them into one heart consciousness in one dimension. From that place, you are a mass meditation effect that you can send out to the world. So it's a very simple process. You can continue to listen to mine. There's also from last year, I recorded when I did the expo, Greg recorded it. And so that's in there from last May. So you can do a 30-minute, you can do a 10-minute, and it will teach you the techniques so that you can hone it, you can alter it, you can change the verbiage, whatever resonates for you, and send that out every day. It's powerful. And what I notice when I do it, Anna, my day just is so much easier. My day is that shaman walking. It lifts you into a completely different vibrational zone to walk forward during the day. So thank you for asking that. Did you have any other questions around that?
That was very good. Thank you. It was so informative. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Karen, before we close out this workshop, can you just reintroduce us to how we can get in touch with you? I did leave it in the chat if anybody wants to take a look, but just for recording purposes, can you state out all of your information?
Yes, so you can find me at karencressman.com, and you can join my YouTube channel, and you'll find I recorded shows from January 2020 through current, of every month, and there's listings. It'll state what it's about. And as I was saying earlier, there's one from October of 2021 that was so powerful, and it's the imprint of love, and how an a Draco being I met back in 2014 that attacked me, dishonored his promise to God and attacked me. But in doing that, he was imprinted with love from me, and it has completely changed him. He has completely changed, gone over, is working with the Andromeda Council, is helping to lift the vibration. I mean, if we get to 100 monkey effect with the Dracos and the reptilians, there's a huge group of reptilians that I work with, Commander Zillion, that just again was imprinted with love when I met him in 2011. I think it was back in 2011, something like that. So anyway, all of that information is on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Karen Cressman Spiritual Interpreter, Twitter, Karen Cressman Spiritual Interpreter, and I have a newsletter. Mostly right now, my work is the YouTube channel. I'm writing some books. My intent is to get all of the Andromeda Council shows into books called The Adventures of a Multiversal Shaman. So we can learn about all of our loved, our friends and neighbors in the universes. There's many, many, many benevolent beings. Yes, there's malevolent, but there's many benevolent beings. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for this opportunity, and blessings.